Hey there, welcome to today's video. I quickly wanted to share with you 5 reasons why you should read. As you may or may not know, we started a new YouTube series on this channel called Books and Looks. So basically, every month there is a book for the month, and then I get to feature one of you. The way to get in is through Instagram. You just repost the book of the month on your Instagram page with the hashtag Books and Looks, and then you get the book for free. You get to keep the book. At the end of the month, we meet up and then review the book together whilst we play in makeup, which I think is super cool. So quickly, 5 reasons why you should read. Reason number 1, reading shapes and broadens your worldview. Our experiences from our childhood, the environment we lived in, the information that we've assimilated from when we were born till now informs our worldview. But you would realize that what we know around us is not all that there is to this life. Because you think that, okay, maybe in our Ghanaian setting, this or that is wrong or right. And then you go into another culture altogether and realize they have an entirely different perception of how this or that should be. And so that is what we call your worldview. So basically, when you read, you get to engage with different cultures, different reasonings, understandings, perceptions that you hadn't even thought of. And so reading broadens your worldview. So for example, for my last video, you know that we reviewed the book Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. Now, when I read that book, prior to that, I hadn't really thought into detail about prostitution, some of the different reasons why people get into it or how people get into it until I read the book. And when I read the book, I tell you what, I was so broken by Angel's story. Of course, it's fictional, it's a story, but then it tells you that there could be people who are into a situation like that, not by their will, but life put them there. And so we should be a bit more gracious and not judgmental, and find a way to pull such people out if we can, of course, if it's within our power. And from the time I read that book, I tell you, my mindset about that subject, which is sort of a taboo in our Ghanaian culture, we don't even talk about it. My worldview on that subject changed entirely, and I'm hoping I find a way to help people in situations like that who want to come out. God help me. So that's point number 1. Reading broadens your worldview. Point number 2, reading connects you to amazing people that you may never get to meet in real life. And by those amazing people, I mean the authors. Yeah. So when you read a book, what happens is you are engaging with the person who wrote the book and their mindset and their understanding of whatever subject they are writing about. My pastor always puts it this way: when you read a book, the experiences of the author, which they may have gathered over a period of 40 years, 50 years, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's all crammed up and easily accessible to you just through flipping pages. Can you imagine? So maybe someone has gone through a struggle in business or finance for like 20 years, and then they wrote about their journey, and then you read it and you have everything at your fingertips just by reading a book in 2 weeks or in a month, and you have a solution to something that would have taken you forever to have a solution to. So you get to have someone's experience, someone's knowledge all at your fingertips just by reading a book, which is super cool. When I read Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, I was so attached. I was like, I really want to meet this woman. But of course, I've met her through her book. Like, I can imagine how she looks. I googled her up though, so I know how she looks. But then I read Smart Money Woman. I was so happy about the book. I loved it. I connected with her as if I knew her. So that's what reading does to you. You get to connect with amazing people that you may never get to meet in real life. Point number 3, reading increases your knowledge base and gives you new vocabulary. I like that one. I don't call myself an avid reader. I haven't been much of a reader from like way back in school. Anytime you see me reading, I'm reading because it's time for exam. I have to take a test. I have to read because of something. But I never read just for the fun of it or just to learn something for myself from it. And I think it's our setting in our, maybe, I don't know how it is in other schools outside of Ghana. But in Ghana, yeah, like you're studying just to pass the exam and then get it over with. And so that was me. Like, that is me. Until last year when I started reading from Francis Rivers, and I've read so many books. I am so proud of myself. This year I haven't done so well, but I've changed. I mean, since we've introduced this books and looks, I know I'm going to be reading more, which I'm excited about. And I tell you, like, reading has given me so many new words. So last week, what new words did I learn? I learned magnanimous, I learned brevity, I learned pedophile, I don't remember. Hold on. I can see my history from my dictionary, and you should have a dictionary on your phone. Like, why do you have a phone without a dictionary? What do you have on that phone? You should have a dictionary on your phone. So yeah, new words from last week. I learned strabismus, I learned sabbatical, I learned duration. Like, I learned so many new words, and I'm so proud of myself. New words that I can use in sentences, like I'm a magnanimous woman of God. Like, yo. Reading gives you new vocabulary, basically. Tip number 4. Reading strengthens your brain muscles, which means better analytical skills. Now, if you remember the first tip, which talks about your worldview expanding or broadening, then definitely you will know that per what you've gathered from what you've read, you'll be better placed to analyze situations, because now you have different scenarios that you can compare a situation to, and you can better analyze a situation because your scope has broadened. Yeah, so that's a good one as well. My last tip for you, tip number 5, is that reading reduces stress. If it was in those days where we were reading for exam, like, I'm stressed already. I had to read some books last 2 years. I was doing my certification in human resource, and the books were huge. I was so stressed just looking at them. I'm like, when am I going to finish reading these books? I had to pass the exam, so I read them anyway. If you recall from the last video, I mentioned I had a book of about 120 pages, and I couldn't finish the book. I lost it, and then I bought a new copy for myself, which I haven't started reading. I know it's a good book, so I have to read it anyway. But then from that time, the next time I started reading, like, intense, and now I can call myself an average reader, was when I started reading Francis Rivers books. Like, I've read so many of her books. I've read Redeeming Love, I've read The Masterpiece, I've read Her Mother's Hope, The Daughter's Dream, I've read The Chauffeur Blue, what do I have here? Atonement Child is my book. I read so many of her books. Anytime I read those books, I connected emotionally. Anytime I'm stressed, I run to a Francis Rivers book. And I came to the conclusion that if you're not reading, you probably haven't found the reading style. Let me put it that way. It's not the author, because other people read their books and love it. So you probably haven't found the reading style that suits your tastes. I hope you find a book that you love. You can start with Francis Rivers books, and I'm sure on this channel every month, from the books we read, you might find somebody that you love and connect with. So those are my 5 reasons why you should read. Okay, I have to go. Like, it's midnight. Bye. Like, good night, good morning, good day. Bye.